Facebook organic marketing is probably one of our favorite channels for growing online communities. But the problem is most people don't know how to do it right. They either don't know what topics to create content around, they don't know how to stay consistent with their content, they don't know what types of content to post or what formats to post, and they don't know how to turn that audience that they're growing on Facebook into community members. Well, in this episode, I'm going to give you a step-by-step process that's going to not only show you exactly what topics to create your content about, I'm going to show you exactly the only 3 posts that you need to actually grow your community. And then we'll show you exactly our process on how to turn your audience into community members. Welcome to the Community Builders Podcast, where we talk about how to launch, grow, and monetize your online community so that you can have a thriving business that you're passionate about and you love going to work every single morning. So if you'd like to get access to our Community Launch Secrets course, where we show you how to launch a brand new community and get your first 100 members in just 10 days, then we'll drop a link in the description so you can join our free community and get access to that course. I'm here with my co-host, Jeff Lauro. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, doing great, brother. I'm excited about this one. I know this is a hot topic for sure. So I'm excited just to jump right in and get right after it. So
Cool,
let
man.
me ask you, man, you mentioned not knowing what to create content about. So how should people go about coming up with the topics to post about?
Yeah, so for this episode, I'm going to be sharing a little screen share. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, or your favorite podcast platform, then come to YouTube and actually watch the video. So I have a graphic up here that basically shows how we think about building out our product roadmap. So a product roadmap, you can think about on the left-hand side, we've got our client. They're in their current situation. They're not satisfied with where they are, whether it's fitness or whether it's their business or whatever you sell as far as your coaching program or your product. So they're unsatisfied and they want to get to their ultimate outcome. So the dream goal that they're after, whether that's money, 6-figure business, or they want to be ripped and have a 6-pack abs or whatever the case may be. So we have to have a process that takes them from where they are now to where they want to be. This is kind of the product roadmap, just a graphic to kind of show you, to illustrate this process. So we have the unhappy person over here on the left, and we have a step-by-step process that takes them through becoming where they are now to where they want to be. So we use a 9-step product roadmap framework. Yours does not have to be 9 steps, but basically it's just a good framework. We've got 3 phases or 3 stages, and within each phase or stage, we have 3 steps. So that's 9 steps, okay? So when we start to map out our process and exactly when somebody joins our programs and the step-by-step process that we take them through, we can start to kind of identify what those steps in the process are. Now, once we've got that product roadmap kind of built out, we have all those 9 steps, we can start to figure out which one of those steps are going to be most attractive, most appealing to our target audience. Those become our topics. We call those our hot steps because we know if we create content around those particular hot steps, then that gives us the highest probability of actually people engaging with that piece of content and raising their hand, essentially telling you that they have a problem that you can help them solve. So I'll give you some examples from one of our old product roadmaps. One of the topics that we know that when we talk about, people get really excited about it is DM outreach. So a lot of people want to know how to do it right, but they don't know how. A lot of people are spamming people in the DMs and it's just not working for them. So if we can give them a process and do a training around helping them to dial in that process and get better results, then they're going to be excited about. Content creation is a huge one. That's what we're talking about on this podcast. So people don't know how to, again, they don't know what topics to create content around. They don't have systems to help them stay consistent. And then they don't really know how to turn that content into actual customers. Okay. So that's a big one. So that just gives you a couple of examples of like some of our hot steps in our product roadmap that will actually help us to get people to raise their hand and show us that they're an interested person in our audience that we can potentially turn into a community member. So that's how we come up with the topics, Jeff.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, so that's basically the topics that we post about. But now that we know our topics, the question is what types of content should be posting to actually grow the community?
Yeah, so I came up with this what I call my 3-post content system. Now, it's not the only type of content I would suggest creating, but it gives you a simple framework to follow each week so that you can stay consistent with your content. It's a very, very simple process. So let me show my screen again, and I'll walk you through these 3 different types of posts. So the first post is an event post. So inside of Facebook, whether you have a Facebook group or you can do this on your profile, you can create an event. So again, what we would do is we would pull one of our hot steps out of our product roadmap. We'd come up with an idea for a training, and then we would create an event promoting that training. Now you can see, if you're looking at my screen, you can see when we create an event, we can invite our friends, or if we have a Facebook group, we can invite all of the people in our Facebook group to that event. So that's one way that we can actually promote this event. And basically what we do is we have 4,200 members in one of our Facebook groups. That's what I used to teach, is Facebook groups. And so every training that we do, we invite that entire list of 4,200 people to those live events. Okay. So we also send this stuff to our email list. So we're also trying to build a list and then emailing those people about all of our trainings as well. But we'll just keep this Facebook specific for now. So that's one way that we can promote our event. So that's the first type of post. The second type of post is what we call two-step posts. Now, you may or may not be familiar with this strategy, but this is typically the colored background posts that you see on Facebook. They're really short, like 1 or 2 sentences. I think there's a certain character count or that you can use, but it's basically got a really sexy hook about that content topic or that training that you're talking about. And then when they basically you're saying, hey, if you want this thing, comment below. And so that type of post is one of the best posts on Facebook right now to generate engagement. And we'll talk about what we do with that engagement a little bit later. But this is our second type of post. And on typically, if I was going to give you a calendar for these posts, on Monday, I would create the event post. I would start inviting those people. Thursday, I'll show you the next post here in a second. Tuesday is going to be the two-step post. And then let's get into the third type of post, which is actually our live training. So we like to do a live stream training on Thursday. So Monday is our event post. We're inviting all those people. Tuesday is our two-step post that generates engagement. And then Thursday, all of it's leading up to this live stream, which is what we do on Thursdays at like 2 p.m. is where we schedule ours. And throughout this live stream, we're asking questions. We're trying to create engagement on that live stream, because that's also going to generate engagement, which we'll get into in a second. So those are our 3 types of posts. We've got an event post, we've got a two-step post, and then we've got a live stream training. And with that live stream training, we can use something like StreamYard to broadcast that live stream training, not only on Facebook, we can do it on YouTube, we can do it on Instagram, we can do it on LinkedIn, and we can do it some other different places. So that's kind of our 3-post content system. And it works really, really well. It's basically how I grew my business and generated close to over $800,000 over the past close to 3 years. So it works really, really well to build an audience and generate some revenue.
Yeah, that's freaking amazing right there. So basically we have our topics, we have our content plan, we have the posts we do, we even have the sequence in which we do them in. So the question now is, and I think this is the $64,000 question for those of us that are a little bit older, right? Is how do we actually turn our audience into community members?
Yeah, so a couple of ways that we do this. So the first way is, okay, we did our live stream, right? What we like to do is now take that recording and we put the recording and the replay of that live stream inside of our community. And now you remember we created the event, we did the two-step post, and then we did the live stream training. Okay, so all of that content that we created previously should have generated engagement if you picked the right topic and it was a hot topic and your hook was good. So all of that content generated engagement. We've got some examples of ones that generated like 600 and something comments, 500 and something comments. Half of that is us responding to people, but half of those are people that we can now reach out to invite into our community to watch the replay. Okay, so some of those people the majority of those people probably didn't get to see it live, so they're going to want the replay because they already raised their hand, showed they were interested in. So we put that replay inside of the community, and then we just reach out to everybody that commented on those posts to see if they want the replay, send them the link to join the community. And then if we have a sales call in our process, we'll also try to transition that conversation into an actual sales call to get them on the phone and try to sell them into a high ticket program, or if we had a paid membership, trying to get those people into the paid membership. So that's kind of how we convert those people that have in our audience that essentially commented on our post, and by doing so, they've raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested in this topic, and I know that you have an offer that helps with that topic, so you can actually help them fix that problem.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So let me ask you this, because there's basically, you showed like the 9 steps, right? Those hot steps, right? And then obviously there's 52 weeks in a year. So is there maybe a rotation or kind of a recommendation you would maybe have on, or maybe different styles in which you film it or do the lives, or I don't know, just something that would really, I guess, kind of change it up a little bit? Or do you recommend just doing kind of the same presentation every whatever 12th week or 9th week, or how it might be?
Yeah. So somebody said this to me, and it kind of made me laugh, but also makes a lot of sense. So they called it the mom test. So your mom follows you on social media. She probably, if your mom's still alive, sorry if she's not, but your mom, my mom follows me on social media. She's a huge fan of mine. She's always commenting on all my stuff and everything, but she doesn't comment on all my posts. And so that means she's probably not seeing 100% of my content, and neither is your audience. So that's one thing. The other thing is they're busy, they forget things. And so they need to be beat over the head a lot to really start to understand what you do and your process, and then start to actually believe in it. So repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again is a good thing. Now, if you feel uncomfortable with that, which I don't think you should, then you can switch it up a little bit. So a couple of ways that you can do that is you change it, you keep basically the trainings, presentations, and everything pretty much the same, except for maybe the first 5-10 minutes and the hook, the way you kind of promote it. The other thing is you can change format. So maybe one day you have a presentation like we just showed earlier, where you're going through a Google slide deck or a PowerPoint or Keynote. And then one day maybe you do a whiteboard where you're just drawing everything out. Or maybe one day you're doing it face to camera and you're just talking about it. So there's different ways that you can kind of switch up the way you present it. But I think like a really good kind of framework or cadence that I like is, okay, so let's say that we have, 9 steps in our product roadmap. You could probably break that into those three stages and talk about those 3 stages, or break it up however you want. But you could do the 3 stages, right? Those each are one training. And then you could do a master class, which is the overview of your entire program. And then on that master class, you could, pitch an offer on that. Use kind of like Russell Brunson's perfect webinar style approach to that. So that's kind of some of the frameworks we teach inside our paid community.
That's awesome, man. That's great stuff.
Cool. Well, now you guys have a content plan where you can go out and you can start to execute this on Facebook. It's very simple to do. We showed you exactly what to create, what topics to create it around, and then what days to post your content on. So you've got everything you need to start doing this and start growing your community. So love to hear what you guys, your feedback, and any other different strategies that you're using on Facebook to grow your community. But we actually did a free training where we go a little bit deeper on what we talked about today and give you the exact process, the exact frameworks that we use for our Facebook organic marketing. So if you want to get access to that, we also have a free course inside of our community where will actually show you step by step through how to launch your new community and get your first 100 members in the next 10 days. If you want access to both of those resources, we're going to drop a link in the description so you can actually join our community and get access to both of those. We'd love to, again, hear any strategies that you're using on Facebook to grow your community, and hope you guys liked the episode. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.